Suter are about to go out again for the Socceroos, and Matt Ryan, as mentioned earlier in the pre-game, captaining his country, the 62nd man to captain the Socceroos. Congratulations to him. The home side just making their way out now. The Socceroos are ready to go, so without further ado, we'll hand over to our match commentators this evening. Good evening to Andy Harper and Simon Hill.
Yeah, very good evening to you as well, Adam. Well, on the surface, there shouldn't be too much to worry the Australians in Kaohsiung this evening. Chinese Taipei, ranked 129 in the world by FIFA, have won just one of their last 18 World Cup qualifiers. By contrast, Australia have lost just one of their last 20. But as with Nepal in Canberra, the Socceroos must be focused, not feckless, concentrated, not complacent, as they navigate these relatively calm second round waters. Of course, they used to be regular foes back in the day, but Australia haven't played here since an Olympic Games qualifier all the way back in 1987. They did meet in an East Asian Cup qualifier in 2012 in Hong Kong, though. Australia won by 8-0 that particular evening. Big Harry Suter, about 2 or 3 times the size of some of the mascots that are being led out by the players. Great occasion for them. And for Chinese Taipei, a real chance for them to test themselves against one of Asia's big boys. The other game in the group, which is Group B, is Jordan against Nepal. You'd expect the Nashama, the brave of Jordan, to win that one. But in Kaohsiung, it's all about the Socceroos and being professional tonight and getting the 3 points, which everybody expects. Great occasion for Matty Ryan, as mentioned already, leading his country out for the very first time. And Adam Taggart, I can tell you, has got a bit of a fan club here tonight. Some of his club supporters from the Suwon Blue Wings have flown over. They've got a few banners and shirts of Adams to hang in the stands. And you'll probably be able to pick them out quite easily. A very sparse crowd at this 55,000 capacity venue. So the team's out on what looks like a rather bumpy surface. And as they line up, we will take a pause for the 2 national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Australia. 各位先生、女士们，请起立。现在播放澳洲国歌。
So step 3 on the road to Qatar 2022 for the Australians. And this is the 14th time these two nations have met. Australia have won 12 of the previous 13. Just the one draw that did come in a World Cup qualifier here in Chinese Taipei all the way back in 1981. They are an improving team. Actually defeated Bahrain and Singapore. Chinese Taipei in the Asian Cup qualifiers fell just short of making the finals by a single point. That would have been their first finals since all the way back in 1968. And there's our referee tonight, Pekstri Mongkolchai, who is from Thailand. Warm temperatures during the day, touching 30 degrees, but it has cooled down to around 21 or 22. As I say, that's a big question. Might be against the quality of the pitch. I know it's been mown twice and watered. The Australians weren't particularly happy with it. Here's the Chinese Taipei team. They handed debut to Canadian-born Emilio Estevez, born to a Spanish mum and a Spanish dad, I should say, and a Taiwanese mum. An attacking midfielder who once trialled at Levante in Spain. Chu Unlei is the Chinese name given to Onur Dogan, a Turk naturalised in 2014. The team's best players are, man on screen there on the left, the captain, Chen Po Liang, who plays for Zhejiang Greentown on the Chinese mainland, and striker Chen Haowei, who plays in Hong Kong with Eastern. 6 changes from the Australian 11 that started against Nepal. Deganek, Taggart, Jego, Mobile, all given starts, along with Brad Smith at left-back. And Branda Borello is a late inclusion thanks to Matt Leckie suffering a hamstring injury. Musti Amini may have been considered, but he's got a minor knee problem. Captain, as mentioned already, is Matt Ryan for the first time, the 62nd player to lead his country. All the officials from Thailand this evening, led by Mr. Mongkolchai. There's Louis Lancaster, the 38-year-old Englishman from Barking, coach of Chinese Taipei, who played semi-pro for Welwyn Garden City before coaching the Portsmouth and Watford youth teams. He took over from Gary White as the national coach after 2 years as his number 2. And Graham Arnold was part of the last Aussie team to play here in 1987. He scored twice in a 3-0 win that all but took the Olyroos to the 1988 Olympics. And he netted a double in the return in Canberra, just to make sure. So Chinese Taipei get the ball rolling, the third leg of Australia's long road to Qatar, and one that should again be relatively straightforward, so long as they maintain their professionalism. Andy Harper?
Yeah, g'day Simon. Well, I'm not so concerned about the players not maintaining professionalism. I thought they were very disciplined a couple of days ago against Nepal, but tonight the story is about goals, goals, goals. When they look around the Confederation and they see their equals like the Korea Republic toweling up Cambodia 14-0, they must start thinking, well, that's the level we've got to hit. We've got to put these smaller nations away. The 3 points, of course, is the first port of call. Let's see how they go tonight on that front.
South Korea weren't able to score in their qualifier earlier on today, though. The big derby in Pyongyang against North Korea ended goalless. Maybe best for all concerned. As for Chinese Taipei, they are bottom of Group B at the moment, lost both their games, including last time out against Nepal. Their goalkeeper Pan Wenche, beaten twice. He's lost 15 kilograms to get himself in shape. Gary White told him he was packing a bit too much timber, the previous coach. And he's had his hair cut as well, because the previous coach wondered whether he could actually see the ball. His hair was that long.
Well, it's a decent mop. I reckon he probably shed about 12 kilos by cutting that.
Here's Aaron Moy. Miloš Deganek restored to the heart of the defence alongside Harry Suter, Brad Smith. Rare sighting in Australian colours for him. Now, of course, with the Seattle Sounders in Major League Soccer, only on loan, which does expire from his Premier League side Bournemouth next month. Indications are he might fancy staying. And expect this to be the pattern. Australia seeing an awful lot of the ball, just looking to probe and break down the ranks of the Chinese Taipei defence, although they do like to play an attacking brand of football when given the opportunity. But tonight, of course, they're up against a rather different level of opposition.
Well, dropping 5 men across midfield ostensibly. The number 10.
Daisy, Ryan Grant. Ball like a bar of soap there from the throw.
Zhenhao Wei, the number 10, will like to push forward. Very talented player, but he's been deployed wide on the right of a 5-man midfield. Certainly looking to pack the back half of the field. Chinese Taipei.
Intervention there by Wang Ri, the number 2. Plays in Hong Kong for Yun Long, one of 6 overseas-based players in Chinese Taipei squad. Deganek trying to go cross-field, not for the first time. Intervention from Chen Yiwei. Deganek, seen plenty of the ball in the early stages. To Harry Suter. Australia will have to be patient. Mix things up, which Suter is trying to do by going long cross-field for Mobile. Here is that talented Chinese Taipei player, Zhenhao Wei. Good win in the air by Deganek. Aaron Moy. Grant pushing forward down the right. Rather loose ball from Moy. Out it goes off Chen Yiwei. James Jago. Deganek. Again, it's not the best release from the Red Star Belgrade defender, but they turned it over immediately and have Chinese Taipei through Chen Tingyang. Moy assessing the options. Grant never shy to push forward, and he'll claim the game's first corner.
Well, patient opening 5 minutes for the Socceroos. Really interesting in the opening exchange to see how deep Jimmy Jago is to start Australia's play. And when they first set up across halfway, there's 5 Australian players pretty much in a line, the 2 centre-halves, Jimmy Jago and the 2 fullbacks.
Well, Harry Suter's up there. Decent header on goal by Deganek, and it's a pretty good stop as well from Pan Wenche. Nicely floated in by Moy.
Deganek, look how free he is on the edge of the 6-yard box. Ghosted in completely unmarked. Nice tip over by keeper Pan.
Moy gets a second go. Similar sort of area. And Deganek again, this time at the back post. Couldn't steer his effort goalwards. Well, the ball's been like a magnet for Miloš Deganek in these opening 5 or so minutes, Andy.
Well, did very well in the first corner. Should have scored from the second one, really. Led off the home team.
Credit to Pan for the first save. Could be a busy man tonight. Chinese Taipei finally over halfway, but only briefly. Brad Smith. Jago picking out Ryan Grant. Just got away from Borrello. Grant beaten in the air by Sen Yue. It's a very neat feat from Wen Chi Hao. Home crowd, as sparse as it is, like that. He's another one of the overseas brigade, plays in China League One for Beijing BSU. Smith. I want the bill. Did he get a touch? No.
Well, that was better from the Socceroos. Reid Smith looking to join in. Short passes up the side. Here's the first chance from Milos Degenek, forcing very good work from keeper Pan Wen-che in the Chinese Taipei goal.
Plays for the locally based Tatung club, owned by an electronics company. And he is a good goalkeeper. The Jordanian coach Vital Borkelmans, that we remember for the Asian Cup, called his performance in his team's 2-1 win against Chinese Taipei incredible. Made a whole string of very good saves. Talking of Jordan, of course, they are Australia's next and probably most difficult test in this second round in November, particularly away from home. Jackson Irvine. Nabil's touch wasn't the surest. Gets a bit fortunate there to get the throw of Tsen Hao-wei. Jego. Again, Ryan Grant has sneaked away from the left fullback. Cross didn't have any great quality. Wang Ri with a header clear. Now Tsen Hao-wei. Listen to the little ripple of excitement when Chinese Taipei get on the ball. Tsen Ting Yang. It's a useful looking ball, but Matt Ryan read it superbly. Advantage played. There was a foul on Ryan Grant. Grant Smith just having a stretch and not able to control it as a result.
Just not quite finding their range generally. A couple of times they've got in behind nicely. Jego to Ryan Grant. But with this packed Chinese Taipei formation, 4 across the back and 5 midfielders, Graham Arnold is clearly setting the team up, Simon, so that players can arrive later into the box, and particularly looking to direct the ball and the traffic into the middle as much as he can to suck the Chinese Taipei players in towards the middle and free up those corridors. Now I've just got to get the pass right.
I dare say Matt Ryan's going to have one of his quieter nights. Just had the one shot on target to field. Relatively routine it was as well against Nepal in Canberra. Here's Grant. That's a better ball in. There's the opening goal. Adam Taggart with his first in 6 years for the Socceroos, and 7 years since he scored 2 of his previous 3 against the same opposition, Chinese Taipei. The ball in was a beauty from Grant, and Taggart did the rest.
Well, this is the business. Nice and patient. Get the player wide in time to face forward. The quality of the delivery is premium, and it's exactly what we get from Ryan Grant. Nicely timed run, and a brave header, stooping, you must say, from Adam Taggart. Really nice goal from the Socceroos polished finish from Taggart and a brave effort to boot.
Well, that will please his fan club from Suwon in the stands. And Adam Taggart will probably feel he was due that goal. He had a couple of chances against Kuwait, didn't feature, of course, against Nepal. And now you venture to suggest, Andy, there's real competition for that number 9 spot, with Jamie McLaren having bagged a hat-trick, of course, against the Nepalese in Canberra. Which is a very nice problem for Graham Arnold to have.
Yeah, well, you know, these games against Nepal, most recently, and tonight against Chinese Taipei, even this early in, are not the ultimate tests that the players are going to face, but all you can do as a selected member of the team is put your chances away. Taggart wasn't able to do it. A couple of good chances in his previous start, but that was a really good finish.
Here's Grant again. That one's going to bounce away from him. Adam Taggart's last international goal was against China at the East Asian Cup back in 2013. But he was brave to get on the end of Grant's cross. An inch-perfect delivery it was too. Not that we've seen it on that replay, unfortunately. This is Wen Chi Hao. Sen Hao Wei. They neatly work the triangle. It's good football. Sen Hao Wei. Back through Sen Wei Shen. That's better. Sen Yu Wei. Encouragement for Chinese Taipei. And a corner.
Well, like a lot of teams from the region, these players, if they get a chance to pass the ball, will demonstrate that they're very, very comfortable in possession. That was a good passage of play, moving upfield, outmanoeuvring the Socceroos, winning the corner.
Now what can they do with it? Wen Chi Hao to deliver. Might not get too many opportunities like this. In towards the near post, and they did get a flick on from the central defender, Sen Wei Shen. Nobody on hand at the back post.
Well, Matty Ryan, when that ball got flicked on at the first post, I don't know if I've seen Matty Ryan's head turn quicker just to see where that ball was going. That was a nervous millisecond for the Socceroos. He'd have Chu Wen Le on or about the 6-yard line of the 6-yard box, but he didn't react, and it would have, if he did, been an open goal into which to head the ball.
Prescient reminder to Australia not to take their foot off the gas. Moy's pass was deflected. Borello's not going to be quick enough to track it down. It is a good mop, isn't it? It's like he should have been in Tears for Fears back in the 80s.
Or maybe he leads a revival band.
Jimmy Jagger. Moy. Grant always available. Degenek. Smith, first time ball, opened it up for Awamabil. Chinese Taipei had numbers back they come again, touched by Taggart. Brad Smith looking to steal in behind, but the goalkeeper narrowed the angle.
Well, I like the way the Socceroos improvised. Once a couple of deflections or mishits had kicked into the move, improvised well. Awamabil hasn't been able to really find his feet yet, and that was a little bit heavier than expected from Taggart, but nice improvisation to get Brad Smith through. Just couldn't quite run it down.
Small crowd, but the drums making for quite a noise. And the locals encouraged by that chance that the home team had from the corner. Here's Smith. Mobile, oh, it's lovely. Brad Smith across, should be a second. Easy as you like for Adam Taggart. He's got a brace against Chinese Taipei for the second time in his international career. And Australia are two clear.
Well, this is the tail end of a really good move. Lovely work, combination between Smith and Awamabil. And the difference already tonight, we've had two quality deliveries into the box and 2 goals for Taggart. Well, that was a really smart piece of play from the Socceroos down the left-hand side of the field. Jackson Irvine involved, the crucial combination of Smith and Mobile, and Adam Taggart there for the tap-in. Good stuff.
Well, not 20 minutes played, and Adam Taggart is on a hat-trick. It's Canberra all over again for Australia's main striker. Last week it was McLaren. Tonight it's Taggart. Here's Wen Chi Hao inside the Australian penalty area. Lofting it over the head of Ryan. Sen Hao-Wei. Jockeying for position with Smith. Oh, he just got it wrong. He's retrieved the situation well, though. Sen Hao-Wei. Lifted into the box. Cleared away by Ryan Grant. And the bouncing ball. For Awamabil in 2 minds. And it's back with that man, Sen Hao-Wei again. Slung into the box. Oh, what a goal! A stunning header from Sen Yi-Wei. And Chinese Taipei are on the boards. That simply tore it to the net. What a header.
Well, Socceroos have been warned just on a couple of occasions. A really sloppy defence. Awamabil, firstly, not just to not put enough pressure on the ball, but initially when he had a chance to get the ball away for danger, didn't do so. Very, very sloppy from the Socceroos. And Matt Ryan left exposed. Ryan Grant beaten in the challenge, and Sen Yi-Wei with a bullet header.
Well, Australia stung by a man that prior to tonight has scored just once in 58 internationals. He'll remember that one for the rest of his days. That was a beauty.
Well, tipping the scales. Or the height measure more.
Hang on, could be another chance here brewing for Australia, not quite.
More the point at 1.75 metres. I mean, that's a goal that just, not only a goal that shouldn't be scored, that's a chance that shouldn't be conceded from the Socceroos.
It all came about due to a bit of indecision, didn't it, from Awamabil. Bouncing ball just catching him asleep at the wheel momentarily, and Australia paid the price, a heavy one. I'm not sure anyone was expecting that tonight. Here's the man of the moment, Sen Yiwei. Plays for the Thai Power Club in the Taiwanese Football Premier League. And a man who 4 years ago was the victim of internet trolls for an error he made against Vietnam. Wasn't the most popular man in this part of the world. I imagine the response might be a bit different tonight. Here's Borrello weaving his way through. Smith has taken up a good position, but can't link up with Taggart.
First bit of action for Brandon Borrello. And true to form, very lively on the ball, and that was a decent option. Cleverly executed, the ball over the top for Brad Smith, who didn't particularly have an answer.
Have another look at the goal, it's worth watching.
It was a beautiful cross. Matty Ryan can do nothing with that. Of course, this was the second cross in the sequence, so the ball came down from the left-hand side with some nice interplay. In the middle of it all was Chen Po Liang. Sen Hao-wei down the left when the ball swings over to the right. They backed it up with another beautiful offering, and Sen Yiwei with the goal, just a beauty, really. Against this calibre of opposition, that is going to be headline news.
Australia trying to regather themselves. It's not the sort of delivery that Adam Taggart thrives on from Degenek. Chested down by Smith. Mabil. Foul by Wen Chi Hao. Well, that goal spoils Australia's hopes of keeping 3 straight clean sheets in away World Cup qualifiers for the first time in 10 years. See if they can restore their 2-goal buffer here. Smith runs over it. Moy's delivery, looking for Harry Sutar, but Wang Ri spotted the danger. Louis Lancaster will be delighted with that goal, but he'll want his team to keep that margin as close as they possibly can. Moy with the corner after the free kick. Fisted away by the goalkeeper. Back in by Jago. Pops out for Smith. Disguised ball by Moy. Mabil to fire it in. Goalkeeper's there again, very brave. Under pressure from big Harry Sutar. And he's been clocked fair and square by the Fleetwood Town defender.
Well, dangerous cross from Mabil. Very brave goalkeeping, good commitment to the ball and a firm punch clearance. And Sutar was there, entitled to go for the ball.
Teasing delivery, wasn't it?
The contact was with the goalkeeper's arm. And as soon as he felt that contact, he knew he was able to stop the game. Landed heavily. But there'll be no expectation, thankfully, of serious injury here.
I think it might have been Sutar's trailing arm that connected with the head of Pan Wen-che. But you're right, Andy. Fully entitled to go for the ball. Got a goal on debut. Might even be claiming 2, but I think most people would view it as an own goal against Nepal. Here it is from a different angle. Yeah, that trailing arm just connects with the head of the goalkeeper. Looks a little dazed and confused, doesn't he? They'll want him to continue. He's impressed in these early stages. One very fine save from Miloš Degenek and a couple of brave sorties to the edge of his 6-yard box to punch away a couple of dangerous balls. He'll be okay. But it's right that they take the time to allow him to recover.
And of course, extra dispensation given to the goalkeeper because, well, they're a special breed.
Big goalkeeping gloves as well. They look like boxing gloves. I don't think I've ever seen gloves that thick. Especially for punching, perhaps. Jago threads the needle for Mabil. Ting Yang just really dangled out a leg at it. Jago's ball into the box. Goalkeeper's all right now, that's for sure. Dance beating Chu Enlei, who, as mentioned at the start, is more commonly known by his Turkish birth name of Onur Dogan. He married a Taiwanese lady, that's why he got citizenship. Here's a chance potentially for Borrello. Oh dear. First touch was heavy and the goalkeeper's been clattered again. And Chinese Taipei are not happy about that at all. And they're urging the referee from Thailand to take action. You can hear the voice of Louis Lancaster on our effects microphone. Thoughts, Andy?
Well, it was a heavy touch from Borrello, and then it was just momentum. We know Brandon well. I mean, there's no way he had the goalkeeper in his crosshairs and thought, I'm going to take him out here. Just heavy touch from him. He tried to redress the situation. He got there clearly second best. A yellow card is a fair outcome, but there was nothing sinister in it.
Brandon Borrello into the book. Got the late call-up today after Matt Leckie pulled out with a hamstring problem. But it was the touch that
very heavy, and he
caused the problem.
Plus, he gets a little bit of a nudge from.
Well, you know, I don't know whether that's as innocent as it.
Well, look at the nudge.
First.
That puts him. No, that's
yeah,
he's pushed him.
I don't know. Anyway, you're right. A booking's the fair outcome out of all of that.
Well, Hong has knocked him off balance. I don't know where he's supposed to go. He was thundering in, trying to fix the situation. Problem was his bad touch, and then it compromised he and certainly the goalkeeper, who's been down to the standard 8 count a couple of times.
That's why he's wearing the boxing gloves. He's had one to the ribs, one to the chin.
As Brandon Borrello was steaming through, I bet you he was wishing he had that extra 15 kilos on.
Mabil. The margin is just the one goal. We've played over half an hour. It's safe to say, Andy, although Australia have by and large controlled the game as we expected them to do, Graham Arnold won't be especially satisfied with the way this has gone.
No, but he'll be very calm about the assessment. Still, obviously, 15 minutes to go till half time, and
that's a better touch from Borrello. Behind Grantis Moy. Borrello again. Degenek. Smith. Goalkeeper's ball. nipping in ahead of the Chinese Taipei captain, Chen Po-liang, who actually apologised at the team press conference yesterday. He's getting divorced at the moment. It's been all over the social media networks and caused a bit of disruption in the build-up to the home team. So he took the opportunity at the presser yesterday to apologise to his teammates. Moy. Grant's made a typical darting run diagonally, nods it back, should be a goal here. It is. It's Jackson Irvine who gets the reward for some good performances of late. He might have scored a couple against Kuwait, had chances against Nepal. He's bagged one now, and it's 3-1 Australia.
Well, look at Jackson Irvine just hovering in that space. Difficult for him as a number 10 or attacking midfielder to get involved much in the build-up, but he's lurked with intent. He's got a great instinct to make the forward run, and as that diagonal ball heads over for Ryan Grant, the Sydney FC fullback deals with it beautifully. So too does Jackson Irvine. Nice control, good finish, and a very well-deserved goal, you'd have to say, over the opening 3 games or 2.5 of World Cup qualifying for Jackson.
Just his 4th goal at international level, 33rd cap tonight, and 2 assists already for Ryan Grant. Just as they had against Nepal and Canberra, Australia have scored 3 first-half goals. Maybe on for a 4th here. Smith fed by Mobile. They queue up in the middle. It's over the goalkeeper. Ryan Grant fancying his chances of maybe getting in on the scoring action. Well, instead, it's a corner.
Much more efficient in attack away from home than they did a few days ago at home. Although it's not an entirely fair thing to say the first half was a decent performance compared.
Moy's corner.
With the second. This first half has been good from the Socceroos with the ball.
Minutes of the first half to run. The 2 fullbacks have claimed all the assists between them. No, it was part of Graham Arnold's pre-game plan to get them in behind. They've certainly done that, as that one is cleared by Chen Wei-chen. Well, our apologies. The camera was away from that action, which is unforgivable, really. Jackson Irvine has a second goal in the space of 2 minutes, and Australia have extended their lead by 4 goals to 1. We'll have a replay of it in just a moment. Here we go.
Well, Jego to Jackson Irvine, and this was the lead-up. Jackson Irvine appreciated the offering from Jimmy Jego.
Well, the first international brace for Jackson Irvine. I can only reiterate our apologies that you haven't seen it in full as yet. Hopefully at some stage we will get a replay of that. We are totally dependent, of course, on the local TV cameras. And what is clear is that Australia lead 4-1. After that early scare, thanks to Sen Yiwei. Here is Chen Po-liang, the captain. Here we go. Lovely ball by Auamabil, and Jackson Irvine really couldn't miss, and he didn't.
Arrived nicely, real strength of his game, and huge turnaround from Thursday night with the quality of the delivery into the penalty area from the Socceroos in this opening 38 minutes.
So 2 for Taggart, 2 for Irvine. Australia a bit more comfortable now. Mabil. Moy. Helped on by Borrello towards Grant. He's being shadowed by Hung Tu Kwe. Moy. See what he was trying to do, just find that little corridor of space for Irvine.
And given Australia's pinpointing of the diagonal ball, particularly to Ryan Grant, but certainly when the opportunity comes the other way, Louis Lancaster might be well advised to switch from 5 across midfield to 5 across the back. Just deploy 2 people defensively in the wide positions and kill that space. Invite the Socceroos to try and play through you in the middle if they're good enough. They're not coping at all with those angled balls over the back.
I know that tactical analysis that Australia did point towards the fact that the wingers cheated a little bit. Didn't always track back and cover those spaces. And they made it a point to try and exploit that, and they've certainly done so. Push the fullbacks forward, and the result is 3 assists between Ryan Grant and Brad Smith. Smith for Mabil. That's a well-timed challenge by Wang Ri, which draws good applause from the gallery. Unfortunately, his attempted clearance has come off his own man, Sen Hao Wei. Smith. Mabil. Moy assessing the options. A little touch into the path of Taggart, but not quite deft enough to find the Suwon Blue-wing striker. Interested in your thoughts on Brad Smith. Harps on loan with Seattle, as mentioned, missed the World Cup with injury, not picked for the Asian Cup in January. But now perhaps providing real competition for Aziz Bayic. Let's just see how this develops, potentially for Auamabil. It's a weak clearance from Wang Ri. Moy. Mabil. Here is Smith, Jego. Angled run from Borrello is not accurate enough.
Well, Brad Smith's done well, and I think in this opening half, his combination with Auamabil has been outstanding, really. Awir has missed a couple of passes and maybe exposed in transition Australia's left-hand side, but that's a minor issue. It hasn't been a consistent problem. I think the two of them have combined really well, and they've obviously been working in the lead up to this game, getting that key pass in behind the defence. But more important than that for me is that there's been real polish on the delivery into the penalty area. Makes so much difference.
It's a death ball through from Aramoy. Australia will get a corner off Sen Polyak. Chance for Harry Sutar to make his way forward again. Irvine handy in the air as well. Moy's delivery, a little bit too flat. Steered away by Tsen Ting Yang. Barello. Moy again. Grant has darted in behind. Chance here. Hat-trick for Taggart, perhaps. But the flag is up, and it doesn't count. That final effort from Mobile. Those runs of Ryan Grant have not been tracked well at all by the Chinese Taipei defence. Just caught ball watching.
And it's been the story. There was a line ball call.
It was Grant offside, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ryan Grant called for offside. And a line ball call might easily have gone the way of Australia.
Maybe time for one more before the break. Mobile almost got it back from Jackson Irvine, not quite. Chinese Taipei spring forward, Sen Hao Wei, but Miloš Degenek across to cover. Mobile. Jago. Back by Grant for Suter. Moy. Mobile. Grant again was willing to try and break that line down the right-hand side. And then says, no, give me a breather. So it made it sway out towards that right-hand side. .30 seconds of the first half to run, plus stoppages. There's Irvine, Smith, Taggart waiting.
Well, good defence in the end from Quang Ray. Soccer is very patient. Don't underestimate the conservation of energy mantra as well. Hot and humid, the guys out of Europe.
Moy goes along the fall from the corner for Smith. It's too deep, even for somebody of the size of Harry Suter. 3 minutes to be added. Your assessment of this first half performance by Australia, Andy?
Well, the goal aside that they conceded, because that was very sloppy defending, it was a good half. Good goals. The quality of the movement to score the goals has been the most impressive thing for me. Not just the four, but really clean execution. Planned for build-ups, I'm sure, and the combinations have worked well, and crucially, you just have to keep making the point. Quality in the delivery.
That's neatly done, though, by Chinese Taipei. I fancy their chances of a second here. Emilio Estevez, barely mentioned his name so far on debut, and that's a foul by Chu Enlei. Eager to get involved. A man born in the Dardanelles of Turkey.
Well, he's very much the lone pine up front, the Chinese Taipei.
Mobile. It's a return off Irvine. Taggart will reel it in. Put it a bit wide of Mobile, but he gets there. Looking to return the compliment, but it's just a touch heavy for Taggart.
It's been a good half generally for Mobile, but a couple of moments he's just lacked a bit of polish, unlike him.
Good to see Louis Lancaster enjoying the occasion. Says part of his brief tonight is not just to try and beat Australia. He knows that's a long shot, but to try and attract more people to the game of football in a country where baseball really is still the #1, and you can see that by scarce numbers in the stands. Not quite sure what that was from Sen Toliang. Final play of the first half. Check of the watch from Mr. Mongkolchai. And that'll do us. Well, an intriguing first 45, a brace apiece for Adam Taggart and Jackson Irvine, but Louis Lancaster will be heartened by the fact that they got one back, Chinese Taipei, through Tsen Yiwei. Graham Arnold has to calibrate all of that in his half-time team talk at the interval in Kaohsiung. The scoreline reading: Chinese Taipei 1, Australia 4.
A couple of tense moments for the Socceroos in that first half in Chinese Taipei. However, a healthy advantage restored before the break, and we'll be talking about those moments after the break with Archie Thompson, Robbie Slater and Mark Bosnich. You're watching.
I'd like to see what we have out wide and up front, because I think that's where we need it.
Good technique. You look good against Nepal. Yep. I think Amini might come on.
Yep.
How long more, you think?
Another 10 minutes. Another 10 minutes.
No, 10.
60th minute, maybe.
Okay.
I think the Brighton Hove Albion coaching staff are hoping that the 10 minutes go.
Well, they do have a
quickly.
voodoo Dolavani and stick pins in it all the time.
Let's get back to our match commentators for the second half with the Socceroos in command, 4-1 over Chinese Taipei. It's back to Andy Harper and Simon Hill.
Yeah, thanks very much, Adam. I'll throw another name into the mix, Andy Harper. Demi Petratos, late call-up, of course, due to the injury to Mas Luongo. He's one of the few that we haven't seen in this little mini-series against Nepal and now Chinese Taipei.
No complaints, and I still wait for Yanu Apostolos to get some more game time.
Yeah, well, he did come off the bench against Nepal. In terms of the game, it's been pretty much as we expected. Not just the scoreline, but 70% possession for the Australians. 6 shots, decent conversion rate with the 4 goals. The Chinese Taipei and their supporters have had something to cheer about at least. They scored from their only shot on goal. Barring a miracle, it will be another Australian win, which will make it 8 unbeaten in World Cup qualifiers. For the home fans, at least they've had the pleasure of seeing their team score their first ever home goal against the Australians. He's been a busy man, hasn't he, Pan Wen-che? Looks to be okay after suffering a couple of big whacks in the first half from Sutar and Borello. Australia get us going again in the second half and showing their intent by playing the ball forward and not backwards straight from the kickoff. Aaron Moy has been the conductor, really. It's a more advanced midfield role, and you'd expect more of the same second half.
Well, it's
with respect to Chinese Taipei,
sure,
probably a question of how many it's going to be. Offside against Mobile.
Well, the second halves have been problems, too strong a word, but the Socceroos in the opening 2 qualifiers have certainly dropped in the second half as far as output's concerned, and it will be a step forward if they don't repeat that here tonight. They went into the first 2 breaks against Kuwait and then Nepal with 3 goals in their pocket. Tonight they've gone in with 4, and good goals too. Really pleasing to watch.
Yeah, concur with that, particularly the delivery from the flanks. From the 2 fullbacks in particular, they've been pretty good.
Where Mobile has stepped over the line for that throw-in, and they've taken it off and given it to the home team.
Not often you see the foul throws penalised. Eagle-eyed linesman. This is Hong Soo-kwe. And they're attacking with purpose here, Chinese Taipei. Jago stepping across. Denying Emilio Estevez. Degenek. Brad Smith hugging the touchline. Jago. Oh, it's a lovely touch by Irvine. Borrello with the cutback. Taggart on for a hat-trick, of course. It spins up for Mobile, but he just couldn't quite convert. Adam Taggart saw the headlines tomorrow morning. Desperate to equal Jamie McLaren's tally against Nepal. Now at the other end, a chance for Chinese Taipei. Thrown a few numbers forward for this free kick. Decent delivery, and it's a free header, and it should have been a second goal for Chinese Taipei. It's Wang Ri who spurned the opportunity, and where was the marking?
Well, it was a beautifully flighted free kick, and it looked for all money as though he was going to head that one in, Wang Rui. He has been impressive tonight. The Australian defence prone from that set piece, concerning for Graham Arnold.
Against better opposition, you fancy that would have been back to 4-2. This is Moy. Mobile. Mobile went early. Good save down low by the keeper, still alive for Australia. It's over the head of Irvine, and Mobile has another lash at it.
Well, here's the free kick. Questions have been line ball, onside, offside, nevertheless.
Linesman didn't flag.
No, slightly overran it as well. That's what probably undid him in the end, but a good chance created by Chinese Taipei.
Chu and Lee leaning all over Degenek. Just the odd moments, aren't they, that will irritate Graham Arnold. Just perhaps a lack of concentration.
Yeah, that's what it is. And look, that was one of the things about which I praised the team after Thursday, when there's massive gulf in class between the teams. I think, the Socceroos maintained their discipline well. Can easily turn to custard when you're not under pressure and you're making easy way up the field. I think the negative was that.
Here's Mobile, breakaway, Irvine.
And it was the lack of polish in the front third, but generally they kept their discipline well. And it's not a complete reverse tonight, but two poor pieces of defending, which speaks of a lack of discipline, but much more polish in possession, particularly in the final third. Some really pleasing developments there.
Swings and roundabouts, eh? Irvine leaving that one short for Brad Smith. Final touch off Moy. Aaron Moy is impressed again in that midfield role. He was another one of the scorers in that 8-0 win over Chinese Taipei back in 2012. Right at the outset of his international career, Matt Ryan was in goal that day as well, I think. Trying to pick his way through, but couldn't do so. And now Chu Enlei gets the better of Degenek. Smith is quickly back in position. It's an intelligent switch of play to pick out Hung Soo Ke. And the fullback's good enough to take it back as well. Gets the return off Emilio Estevez. The foul looked a little soft against Borrello, but referee saw enough in it. Estevez plays in the Canadian Premier League for the York 9 club. New competition, that, just a couple of years old. As is the Taiwan Professional Football League. Going for just 2 seasons after the former competition closed its doors. It's a risky ball by the goalkeeper. Wang Ri, Chu Enlei, piece of football, Sen Poliang to sweep it out towards his left-hand side. Towards Hung Soo Ke. Emilio Estevez on the turn. Well, they forced the opportunity, and the home crowd appreciating that at the very least.
He's enjoying himself, Estevez, on debut. Really growing into the contest. They've had a decent slice of possession, Chinese Taipei, in the second half.
Very much the coach's mantra is have a go. Previous coach Gary White was a little bit more defensively minded. Looked as though it came off the arm of Suter. Referee happy enough. Now he'll blow his whistle for the foul on Jago. Suter. Borrello. Australia making measured progress. Going to sling it out to Smith on the left. Mobile. Trying to get clear of Wen Chi Hao. Misses out Moy. Now it's with the Brighton and Hove Albion midfielder. Flip forwards. Mobile offside again.
Well, even though he looks like he's only in second gear, maybe he is, Aaron Moy, but he's got the entire picture in his mind. Ball comes and he already knows how he's going to try and pick something apart. Just love watching him play. So deliberate, very difficult to dispossess.
Estevez. Throw in Chinese Taipei. Or is it? Yeah, thought so. Estevez, much more of the ball in the second half. Bit of a miss kick by Moy, found its way through to Taggart inadvertently. Tied it up by Sen Wei Chen. Clever play by Wen Chi-hao, who's one of Chinese Taipei's better players. Might have a hit here. Decent try from Zheng Po-liang, the captain.
The ball over the top for the clever Wen Chi-hao. He did the business on Harry Sutar.
Zheng Po-liang is captain for good reason. Still plays in China, of course, with Zhejiang Greentown, but also had a stint with arguably the more famous Shanghai Shenhua a few years ago in the Chinese Super League. There's 3 chances Chinese Taipei have had in the second half. Is that pattern starting to re-emerge for Australia? Here's Barello trying to change things. Slips it through for Irvine. Lovely touch by Mobile. Smith. This will be a wonderful goal, but Irvine can't finish and claim a hat-trick. Lovely build-up play.
Well, apart from the goal, everything that's been good about this Socceroos performance tonight on show here. When they get moving, the one-touch passing, particularly the combination between Mobile and Brad Smith has been a highlight. And again, Jackson Irvine arriving late in the box. Nice goal that would have been. Very good build-up from Australia. That would have been Jackson Irvine's hat-trick. Should have been Jackson Irvine's hat-trick.
Still plenty of time for him to get it. Ditto Taggart is chasing this one down. Corner ball. Doesn't look overly happy, does he, Arnie? Then he doesn't normally. Chinese Taipei have got a bit of a problem over their captain, Zheng Po-liang. Seems to be struggling a little bit. Hamstring, my lip reading's correct. He was his nation's youngest ever captain. It's the most caps, most goals for his country. See if they give him a couple of minutes to try and recover. Taking his time to get off. Moy waits to deliver the corner. Angle towards Suter. I did get there. The bouncing ball did graze the crossbar, but it took a touch from the goalkeeper on the way through. A corner again from the opposite side. There is that change for Chinese Taipei. Wu Yanshu is going to replace the captain, and Musti Amini is going to come on shortly for Australia, even though there were reports of a bit of a knee problem for Musti in the build-up. Maybe just twanged that hamstring when having that shot some minutes ago. So on comes Wu Yanshu. Just 19 years of age for his third cap. So Moy's second corner, and Sutar meets it again. Bounce did for Adam Taggart. Possibly the worst angle ever to see the scoreboard, so we know which number's coming off. It's Aaron Moy. Very good performance.
Again.
Mustafa Ramini getting his first touch in early, just his 8th cap tonight. Certainly a regular, of course, for his club side. Aarhus in Denmark, where he's captain. Borello's done well. Had it already crossed the line. Taggart got a bit of a whack. He's got a bit to say. Sutar penalised. He's rather frustrated by that decision. Last free kick that Chinese Taipei had from this sort of range created a very good chance. Maybe that's why Australia got the high defensive line. See if they can catch their opponents offside. Wen Chi Hao's ball and Matt Ryan's claim. Prodigious leap from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, well read, and of course with so many Chinese Taipei players up for the free kick, he looked for the quick release, a rare moment potentially for the Socceroos to get players in space in the whole of the second half of the field, or their attacking half. Normal service resumed now. Socceroos will have to move their way upfield through the massed ranks of the Chinese Taipei defence.
Borello trying to retrieve the situation. Getting the foul on Esteves, who's got a touch of cramp. It's a smart move, I think, by Louis Lancaster to try and dip into the diaspora. It's something that pretty much every national coach does these days, Graham Arnold included.
Yeah.
Video of Esteves. That trial at Levante in Spain. He's got a Spanish passport thanks to his father. Here's his debut, about to end up with a trip back to the dressing room on the stretcher. I thought it was just cramp initially, but maybe it's a bit more serious than that. So they're readying Li Shangwei to come on in place of the debutante. That's a lovely ball and beautifully controlled by Wen Chi Hao. Runs into Mustafa Ramini. That was diligent defensive work by the substitute. The return ball for him wasn't the best. And then a handball against Jackson Irvine.
Well, we've seen plenty of occasions tonight how individually talented some of these Chinese Taipei players are. Wen Chi Hao has done.
This kid is very good.
Very, very well.
And I know you love this, Harps, because you're fond of these.
He's the Chinese Taipei.
Modric.
How do they work these out?
There's always one.
They roll up pieces of paper and put them in a barrel. And you pick one out, and that's your European or South American, your superstar lookalike. And he's in his own right, he's a capable player.
He is.
He's caused Australia a couple of little worries tonight. Take taking this free kick now.
Again, that's high line from Australia. Chu Unlei hasn't had an awful lot of service. Want to cause a bit of mischief. All about the delivery from Wen Chi Hao. Which wasn't the best. After we gave him the big build-up, the Taiwanese Modric.
Which is, of course, why we did it. Just to put the mocker on that free kick.
Australia going to make their second change. Brandon Borello to be replaced by Aiden Hrustic. And Estevez is also confirmed as having permanently left the scene. And his replacement has a very interesting backstory. A young guy called Will Donkin, who was born in Oxford to a Taiwanese mother, went to Eton College, former Chelsea Crystal Palace junior, and is known as the Donut Boy in Chinese Taipei because Donkin translates to donut in the local language. Here he is on the ball.
The Duncan variety.
And you can hear how much they love him already. Dagenek tidying up.
I wonder if his alma mater is cheering for him. The chorus being led by Boris Johnson, of course, an old Etonian.
Please. Don't mention his name in my presence. Cramp for Wen Chi Hao. Chinese Taipei players starting to feel the strain a little bit. Another change. Here is Li Shangwei, who we thought was going to replace Estevez. He is on now. Into the last 20 minutes. Australia haven't added to their half-time tally. Hrustic trying to busy himself. The Shangwei with his first involvement, which is a pretty tidy one. Senwei Chen trying to burrow his way through and got the full brunt of Mustafa Amini coming through the other way. Couldn't reach it. Here's Donkin. Now playing in Norway for Stabæk. He lost his footing. It's clever play by Ryan Grant. And cool play by Hrustic, and Australia can move upfield. Smith for Mobile. Dagenek. Amini. Grant. Not his best ball of the night. Ryan Grant for Hrustic. Off the chest of Dagenek. Jago to sweep it out left for Smith. Amini. Again, everybody behind the ball for Chinese Taipei. Australia trying to be patient. Amini spotted the run. Picked out his man pretty well. Brad Smith. Beal back for Jago. Angle it in towards Taggart or Irvine. Ryan Grant gets a bit of a nudge off Donkin. Ends in a handshake. He'll have learned that at Eton College, of course.
If he turned up at the ground in his top hat and tails. Is that a lifetime habit they get them into?
I wouldn't know, Hobbs. Being from Manchester. Rustage. That's a decent ball, and Australia do have their 5th goal, and it's Harry Suter. 2 in 2 for the big defender. Proving to be quite a weapon for Graham Arnold in attack.
Well, off the head of Suter, onto the head of Wang, who's got a really difficult job here, and into the back of the net. Keeper throws himself to the near post, but can do nothing about it.
Well, we took one off him against Nepal. I'm not sure we'll take that one off him.
Oh no, clear goal for him.
He'll have a few stories to tell, only when he goes back to Fleetwood. Australia have finally broken through in the second half. Suter again. His more usual defensive role. Quarter of an hour to play. Scoreline says 4-1. We are pretty sure it's 5. There we go. The caption has caught up. Suter in ahead of Chuan Lee again. Taggart offside this time.
He might have left that one alone, Adam Taggart. Aiden Rustic was alive to the possibility.
Having a little pep drink on the sideline. Taggart. Score of 16 goals. Adam Taggart for his club side in Korea. Although he's without one in a while for Suwon. So, no doubt happy to get those 2 first half goals for his country tonight. Mobile's touch. Smith driving forward, strong of course physically. The cutback, Taggart waiting. And blasted by Mustafa Amini. Fancied a hit. A little bit wayward in the end.
Well, again, the feature, to me, the best feature of the Australian team tonight was the combination between Smith and Mabil, and again they linked up here, and great power from Brad Smith to make the crossing chance in the end.
Senway Chen is the latest to be struggling with a bit of a problem, cramp, or is it something else?
No, it's they're dropping like flies. Actually, this is the third Chinese Taipei player to come a cropper with cramp. 2 have already been substituted. Still 15 minutes or so to go. The door wide open for Australia. This dogged resistance from Chinese Taipei.
Australia going to make another change, third, and it's going to be like for like. Jamie McLaren for Adam Taggart, a brace for Taggart tonight. McLaren, of course, got a treble against Nepal. Your assessment of Adam Taggart?
Yeah, good goals. Good goals. He stuck around. It wasn't a feeding frenzy for him, so he did well with what came his way. Is this a statement about apoyar as well?
Well, he got minutes against Nepal, didn't he, Posolosiano? But won't do tonight. Of course, you'd probably say, longer term, Tommy Juric still not out of the picture either. He's just moved to Bulgaria. Not involved in this particular squad. So some options there for Graham Arnold.
Rogic and Arzani to be re-included at some point, you'd expect.
Yep. Not to mention Trent Sainsbury in the defensive line. Mas Luongo. Socceroos building depth.
He's playing on the right, just the bottom of the pitch. Rustic looking to get in behind now. He's obviously a left-footed player. I just wonder if he might be an option as well at left fullback to consider. Brad Smith's done very well tonight. It's not a comment on him. And of course, Aziz Bayic has basically been the incumbent. So there are players already being considered there. But I like the cut of his jib. He's a clever player. The little bits we've had to see of him.
And crucially, Andy, he plays regularly for Groningen in the Netherlands. Aziz Bayic not getting a lot of game time in Turkey. Brad Smith, of course, his future a bit up in the air once his loan spell comes to an end.
And the fullbacks in Graham Arnold's team, certainly this stage of qualifying, have a very attacking brief.
Here's Irvine, scorer of 2 first-half goals. It's just beyond Mabil. And Smith unable to keep it in play.
That was nice work again. This play started by Rustic. Turned nicely, very positive pass into Jackson Irvine. Yeah, who did well, and a nice ball across. The pitch didn't help on that occasion, a little bit bumpy, and it didn't move as truly as it might.
Crowd finding their voice. Sutar, the only man to find the back of the net second half. Australia trying to pick their way through again. Certainly Ryan Grant has not had as much joy getting in behind on that right-hand side second half as he did in the first. Almost had free rein first 45. Irvine over the head of McLaren. Mabil might get there. Uses Smith as the decoy. Works it in towards Irvine, slips it through. It's lovely play. Smith McLaren just waiting to apply the final touch, but the whistle has gone, I think, for an offside flag.
Yeah, it was offside on Smith, or whether it was or not remains to be seen, but that's the decision. Very clever play, Moy-esque from Irvine. Look at the prop, the little half turn, and he's gone offside. It's a fair call. Beautiful lead-up play from Jackson Irvine to show he's not a one-trick pony.
Continue to be impressed by Jackson Irvine at international level, not just his goals tonight, but his general play and his work rate, willingness.
Yeah, all fair points. A great bloke to have in your team. Really good competitor.
In a very competitive area of the pitch for Australia as well.
True, yeah.
This is Frustich. Irvine. Romini sending Milos Steganek off for a bit of a jog, which I'm sure he appreciates in the humidity. Chinese Taipei with everybody behind the ball. Irvine, Frustich, lovely ball, McLaren, very tidy finish. Jamie McLaren continues to notch up international goals. It's his 4th in a week, and it's 6 for Australia.
That was just really good football again. Irvine setting it up, Rustic with the turn. Beautiful pass, first touch. And this camera angle doesn't show the quality of the run of Jamie McLaren, which was a darting one at an angle, perfectly timed with the finish to match.
Just peeled away from his marker beautifully, Jamie McLaren, to find that space. And the finish of a man in form for both club and country. Taipei, Chinese Taipei, all of a sudden look rather tired. Well, it's hard work, isn't it, chasing a ball for pretty much 90 minutes. Ryan Grant. Irvine trying to play in McLaren again. Jago. Came off Wu Yanshu. Ryan Grant going down heavily. This is Chu and Lei.
Well, the time that's remaining with Chinese Taipei visibly weary. Socceroos can really put the foot down. They fancy it. Another few really good efforts on goal. There's no doubt about that if they have the intent.
Another clever ball by Frustich. Oh, Smith. And nobody was waiting at the back post. Still alive, though. Mobile. Ryan Grant, they're lining up in the middle. Grant Smith, the aerial ball, not really his go. Yet to score for his country. And Louis Lancaster's team have been brave tonight. They've had their reward thanks to that wonderful first half goal. And I think if the referee blew the full-time whistle now, I don't think their coach would complain. Irvine for Mobile. Frustich and McLaren in the box. Australian corner and another case of cramp. First
No,
time.
They're out on their feet.
Senwei Chen. Tough going for the home team late on. Rustic's corner, the outswinger, and Suter, he's got another one. Goodness me, you just can't stop big Harry Suter. And again, there was a deflection on the line, but he'll claim that one too. Make that 2 internationals and 3 goals. He's a goal machine.
Well, it's very difficult from that range. Very difficult indeed. You'd have to suggest one of the obvious reasons he's been selected for these games in particular.
I reckon he'll be saying, just give me one more set piece.
Well, Jeremy McLaren,
And then I've got a real story to take back home.
Let's see how hungry the Socceroos are to finish this one off. They're certainly pressing in numbers. The beast of Chinese Taipei is certainly wounded and limping. The Socceroos really pushing on now.
Aiden Rustic claiming an assist from the corner. Oh, Suter, don't forget to defend, Harry. Will Donkin, can he finish? Gets a second go at it. Just run out of room in the end. He gets a corner, should have been more really. And Harry Suter almost turned from hero to a bit of a villain there. Not that it would have made much difference in the final outcome. He just dallied and lost possession. Donkin's corner, easily steered away by Smith. McLaren capitalising on the mistake. Rustic had no right really to dig that out. Eventually gets whistled against. It's the first of 3 additional minutes. Overall, this performance, Andy?
Well, a polished first half, some very polished moments in the second half. But just the lingering notion of a second half syndrome developing over the 3 World Cup qualifiers now. And that's something to which Graham Arnold will, of course, pay due attention to, but pleasingly for the Socceroos, they've had some real polish in attack, which I think they lacked in chunks on Thursday night against Nepal in Canberra.
Degenek across to cut that one out. Ahead of Sen Hao-wei. Much tougher test to come next month. Away in Jordan, who of course beat Australia at the Asian Cup. Here's Will Donkin. There were just too many defenders in front of him. And I dare say Graham Arnold's pre-game comments ahead of that game in Amman might be a little bit different to the ones he uttered in the UAE back in January. Might be a little bit more circumspect.
Well, particularly when Australia has had a couple of really difficult assignments in Amman. That's over and above the loss in the Asian Cup in the UAE. Very difficult opponent.
dying embers of what overall has been a pretty good night for Australia. This is Sen Hao-wei. Forward by the goal-scoring hero, Sen Yi-wei, to no great effect. Ryan Grant could do without that in the 93rd minute, having a run and chase. Free kick for the home side, might well be the last chance. Home fans making a bit of noise, hoping that their team can jag a second goal. Chu En-lei is an obvious target. Probably the tallest of the home players. Donkin's delivery, and Ryan with an easy claim in the end. And that will do in Kaohsiung. Pretty convincing scoreline. 2 goals apiece for Adam Taggart, for Jackson Irvine, and for Harry Suter. 1 for Jamie McLaren. Louis Lancaster's team gave Australia a bit of a scare in the first half with Sen Yi-wei's bullet header. But it is mission accomplished for Graham Arnold. 3 games, 3 wins. Australia easing towards the next phase of qualifying, where it will get much tougher. Final score here, though. Chinese Taipei 1, Australia 7.
The biggest win of the campaign so far, 3 steps in. It's now an aggregate of 15 goals scored and just the 1 conceded on a beneficial night for the for and against, at the very least, against Chinese Taipei. Archie Thompson, Robbie Slater and Mark Bosnich here to analyse things as we head into Wednesday morning in Australia. Just trying to weigh that up, but good win, Robbie. Imperative that they got a few more goals towards the end there, because again there was a bit of a lull in the second half.
It was a bit stale.
Job done.
The start of the second half, probably 20-25 minutes, was pretty stale soccer.